97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock.
Hello, this is Michael Spedden, and thanks for joining us today on the 97underground.com Michael Spedden Interviews channel here on YouTube. There have been many requests from both listeners and guests for us to make available our artist interviews so they can listen again or share with others. You can find us on YouTube at 97underground Michael Spedden. Remember, the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, can be heard on 97underground.com every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Not only do I feature artist interviews, I feature songs you forgot you liked, classics that never die, beloved local, regional, up-and-coming, and underground artists. You can listen anytime, anywhere by downloading our free app from 97underground.com. Just do it. And now, today's episode. Hey folks, welcome to the Michael Spedden Interviews here on YouTube from 97underground.com. Our guest today is Gastem. From 1985 to 1989, they performed in the Baltimore, D.C., Virginia area. They have recently reunited, and they're re-releasing their material from back then and re-releasing new material to be out. I had a great time talking to Rob Galpin, Craig Stiegel, and Mark Schenker, not only about this, but about the old days of playing the clubs in the area. Links to their music, websites, and social media can be found in the show notes. Enjoy the episode, folks. And welcome back to another episode of The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. And today we have Gastem on the show. It's great to see you guys. We have Rob Galpin and Craig Stiegel on the show tonight. So it's great to see you all, and welcome, guys. We have some good news for us, huh?
Good to be here, Mike.
Sir. Yes, sir. So you're from the Mid-Atlantic region, Maryland, and you had been performing years ago, and you're getting the band back together, as they say, right? And you're releasing some material. So tell us the good news. What's going on?
Well, I think the best thing to do would be to start this whole. I'll tell you the honest truth. I know most people have a great story behind why they decided to get the band back together, but this is a rather funny one.
Okay.
When we're talking about getting the band back together, we're talking about, well, the band was originally 4 guys. You know, in '85 we had quite a bit of playtime, I guess you would say, in that region, and played the same circuit that I guess everyone else that's been on the show that's told you those old war stories about, the club circuit. We did that. Rob and I have been continually in contact, and in a weird sense, without cell phones, without the internet. Rob and I have remained to stay in contact over the past 45 years. Literally, I would say there's probably, and Rob, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but throughout history, I don't think there's ever been 2 weeks that have gone by that Rob and I have not been in contact since.
Oh, good.
That's a true story.
Well,
I mean,
and not only in contact, but we've been working and writing really the whole time. So we've probably been writing for the last 40 years, nonstop in one way or the other.
Without the band even playing.
That's great, but it's kind of sad. I mean, how great is this beard?
Yeah, well, I mean, we basically I'll tell you how it really started. Rob and I have always written, and we've managed to do this through long distance contact because I moved from the Maryland area in 1990 and back to my birthplace of North Carolina. And then through that, over the past 15 years, I've been here in the state of Florida. So, obviously work is kind of what took me that way. And none of my work had anything to do with music. As a matter of fact, full disclosure, I've not played drums since 1990 until just this past January. And the way that all kind of came about is that last year, Rob sent me a track of something that was just amazing. And I don't know if this is tipping the hat. If it is, you can edit. I don't care.
That's fine.
He sent me a track of him doing a cover tune, and it was so brilliant. I don't want to, it may be something that we're going to drop on the album. So I don't know if I want to tip that just yet, but let me just say that there's no way in hell that you'll ever guess what the song is until the lyrics come in. It's so well done and so disguised. I thought it was amazing. And we've been talking just for years about us just getting back together in the studio just to have some fun. But the big sticking point was me, because I'd not played. I mean, I literally had not lifted drumsticks in that long. So last February, when Rob did this, we really started getting serious about it. And so that's when Rob said, okay, if you're really going to get a drum kit, okay, wait a minute. Shanker just hit me and he says, are you still on? Do you want me to text him back or just us keep going?
Tell him to join us. The more the merrier.
Okay. All right. Do you mind if I go ahead and pause here, or should I?
Sure, I can pause too.
Rob, do you want to continue the story while I?
Where were you?
Well, basically, just the thing is that here I'll continue on. Yes, I'll just yes, and hopefully he can get that.
First, you were talking about Get Down on It. Oh, wait.
Oh, you did not. You didn't do it. Okay, Michael, there you have it. We did a Kool in the Gang cover.
Okay.
Very, very Van Halenized.
Okay.
And it's mean as hell, and you'll love it. It's like, mixing Fair Warning era Van Halen with old Celebration era Kool in the Gang, if you can imagine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so it was so good that I just said, man, that would be really fun to play that. And that was when Rob just kind of stepped in and said, then let's do it. So he contacted the original bass player, Mark Eamon, and they met up and actually started trading some licks. They even worked on some songs, I think, at one point last year. And we were set to, with Mark being in Kick, Mark Shanker being the bass player for Kicks. Kicks had done their farewell show back in September. And so at that time, we'd even reached out to Mark and said, hey, would you like to just all of us get in a room and see what happens? And so we kind of had that in agreement. We were agreeing to do that beginning of this year, 2024. And very, very suddenly and unexpectedly, Mark Eamon, the bass player, passed away in November.
Oh, God, that's awful.
Yeah. And so you would think that would put the brakes on it, but really what it did was send all of us into hey, man, this, we've been talking about this for a while, and now look what happens. Life goes on, and stuff happens. And so let's not let that happen again. And in honor of him, we definitely need to get together and just see what happens. I mean, there was never any intent of this going anywhere other than us just having a good time. So next thing I know, a couple days prior to Thanksgiving, 3 huge boxes arrive outside my door as I drive home from work in my driveway. And I look at the return address, and it's Rob's return address. And I'm like, what in the heck? And I split these boxes open, and it's a drum kit. It's a electronic drum kit. And so at that point, Rob really kind of put the period on that and said, now you have to do this. I did this, and now you have to learn how to play again. Mm-hmm. And so that's exactly what happened. And then so December, Rob and I kind of had this figured out how we were going to do it, that, I could play and record my tracks, to a click, and, we could do all this remotely like we have been doing. And I got to tell you, Michael, it sounded crazy good. We were shocked, or I was shocked more than anybody. So they Rob kept sending more and more. And these are songs that most of these are all Rob's little babies.
Sure.
A few of them I had my fingers in. There's one that, I actually wrote that we recorded. And so we decided to do this. And even more so, we decided to do it kind of in honor of Mark Eamon, because, he wasn't able to do that. There was never the intent of releasing it. It was all just because Rob said, I would love to have the band all legitimately on this, and not just me playing the bass and me putting a drum machine on there. I'd love to have the original people playing on this. And then, obviously Shanker, who I guess has joined us now, he was freed up because of the fact that, Kicks had just done their farewell back in September. And that was a nice, glorious, send off.
Mm-hmm.
And so he agreed to be a part of it too. And at that point, you can't say no at that point. You got to,
Right,
you've
right.
got everybody back together and you have to do it. That's kind of what we did. So after all was said and done, probably beginning of March, we had 23 songs in the can.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah, right.
time flies when you're
And-
having fun, huh? And songs come out while you're having fun, I guess, huh?
And it was amazing. And then at the same time, Rob decided, I guess, during spring cleaning the year before, that he was going to go up in his attic and clean that out. And he ran across the old analog masters of the first two albums that we put out back in the 80s.
Wow.
And so this just became, he was like, what do you think? Should we digitally remaster these? And since they were originally only available, I think cassette, but we sold at the shows and the local record stores carried. He's like, now we can really put this out legit and have this, out there digitally so that, and it was all for us, really. We wanted to just be able to say, Alexa, play Gastem, and we could hear everything that we did. So that was the whole premise behind it. And I don't think it was ever anything more than that until people started getting wind of it. And then it started to kind of take off from there. And so that's kind of the back history of that. Never in a million years did I think that we would really put this back together and do anything. It was all kind of a fun thing. And I guess, the proof will be if people like it or not. But we really enjoyed what we were doing. And we really enjoyed what we were hearing come out of it. And so that's kind of the precursor to what's happening right now, which has now turned into, there's a label involved, and we've released 2 singles, 2 videos already. Now the album's going to be coming out this summer. So in addition to a brand new Gastem album, which was kind of the icing on the cake, there's going to be the digital remasters of the first 2 albums that are going to be, locked down as well. So hopefully
Wonderful.
That's not too lengthy of a description, but if anybody wants to add anything.
Why don't you introduce us to one of your songs?
Sounds like the winner. Rob, you want to take this one?
Well, let's see. What do we want to hear?
Free Bird.
Free Bird. So let's see. I'm literally blanking out. What was the one that we? She's taking it all. She's taking it all. This is a kind of a romping kind of thing. Like Craig said, we sort of held back some of the heavier things at first. It's kind of seems like a kind of a known formula that, and it's a frustrating formula that bands always come out with their couple little singles that are just a little too commercial for your ear, and it's a little disappointing. And then you walk around for a couple weeks saying, man, they sold out, they suck. Right? And then they come in behind it, with the real stuff. So I'd say that this song is the real stuff.
But I love the
Okay, so during the last segment here, Mark was able to join us. Welcome to the interview here, Mark. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, so how are things going? How are you enjoying all this here?
It's good to be able to play bass on songs without consequence. So
Yeah.
That's great. That's perfect. Without
there's no
consequence.
there's no preconceived idea about what needs to be played. I mean, obviously Rob played bass on the demos, and sometimes the things that he plays are a little hard to beat because they're so good. But yeah, it's good to just have total freedom and nobody asking like, hey, you sure that's the right bass line? Did Taylor Rhodes approve that bass line? That kind of
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, it's a wonderful free thing, and I've been listening to Rob's songs for 30 some years now, so it feels very familiar and very comfortable, and it's great to be able to stretch my legs quite a bit. So
Getting back together and recording, just like hopping back on the horse, I guess. It's great to be back with everybody and making some new magic, huh?
yeah, and sometimes a lot of times when we weren't doing a Kicks record or some re-release, I would write songs on my own upstairs in the studio, play bass on them, and then nobody would ever hear them. So I had no interest in improving them or making real mixes
Sure.
or anything like that. They're just basically, demos, just me fooling around and having an excuse to fire up my Pro Tools rig and use all the expensive equipment I have. So
Sure.
yeah, I tried to keep that part of me going all the time. But now there's kind of an audience with this group here. So it's a little bit more like, okay, this is sounding really good and it's exciting, and get to just sometimes not even. A lot of people say, well, you play to what the track calls for, but I'm just playing what I want.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily support the music at all. So it's basically bass soloing over Rob's songs and ruining them for him.
And then calling me up and saying, "Hey man, turn it up. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Turn that bass up."
yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, it's a little bit different, but I have respect for what Rob and Craig do. So I don't get too John Entwistle on them. So, but I'm in the neighborhood, that's for sure.
Well, good. I did listen to some of the stuff that you've sent me and everything, and I really like what you're doing here. Is there another song you'd like to introduce us to?
Rob?
Anyone?
Don't everybody jump.
Bueller?
Well, I mean, I think obviously the track that we just did, the Anyway, was a really fun track because it was the first time that all three of us, obviously, Mark Eamon wasn't able to be a part of that, sadly, but it was the first time that we were all kind of in a way in the same room, if you will. And we recorded a video that was very fun to do because it like Mark said, there are really no rules with Gastem. And so everybody's kind of free to do their own thing. And this could not have been more of a visual representation of that, because we really had a lot of fun doing that. Each of us legitimately playing the song. And then all of that footage going to Rob, who edited this all together in what I think is just a really fun video. It kind of gives the whole message of what we are, which is just a fun band that kind of connects with the audience that way, and everybody kind of feels that. It's very contagious. And to me, that would be a nice representation of what we've done. What do you think, guys?
Well, it's a good song. You can't argue with a good song.
Great. Well, here it is.
Anyway. You got a lot to say. Every story paints a way home. The way home. Same old ending, murder me. But anyway, if I ever get a chance to say or sing a tune about the way home, I'll be pacing patiently. And I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait. 'Cause I love you. I love you anyway. Oh yeah. Yes, I love you. No matter what you say. Oh yeah. Anyway, when you finally come to stay and you feel like there's no way home, the way it's supposed to be. By the time you start thinking your ship's already sinking, you'll never make it get away. Anyway, 'cause I love you. I love you anyway. Oh yeah. Yes, I love you. No matter what you say. Oh yeah. And I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait. 'Cause I love you. I love you anyway. Oh yeah. Yes, I love you. No matter what you say. Oh yeah. Yes, I love you. I love you. I love you anyway. Yes, I love you. No matter what you say. Oh yeah.
So you have got, just as you were mentioning before, just a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's Rob's prolific, that's for sure.
All
That's
right.
a way to say it. That's a good way to put that.
Well, like I was thinking, about our music, a lot of people say that a band has these different traits and about their music. What is it about their music? What is it about our music? Well, there's a lot of it. So I don't know if that gets us anywhere, but the it recording, it goes all the way back to Mark Eamon and I were playing in a band that was playing around the area, and we would rehearse in my parents' basement. And we had, of course, you have a cassette deck there because you're learning songs off the cassette, right? So somehow or another, we ended up, and we had 2 cassette decks there in the rehearsal room, and everyone had left. And we started saying, you know what? You could actually mimic multi-tracking if I played the drums and you played the bass, and we put it on this one cassette, and then we'll run that cassette back through the mixer. And when we run it through the mixer into the second cassette, we'll add more tracks as it goes on live, right? So we did that. And then now we've got this second generation that has bass and drums and guitars. And we run that into a third generation and add vocals. And so that is how we started writing songs, because it wasn't like we were writing because we had some great message to get out. We had to write a song so that we could use this little tricky method that we made up. And so it's like, okay, we're going to try to do this thing. Well, what are we going to do? I don't know. So you just got to make up something real quick, and then you get a result. And we always have laugh. We say, what is the point of all this? And the end thing is that you get to listen to it in your car at top volume.
Top volume, son.
So we were always driven to write just so that we could listen to something new that we did in our car at top volume. So it started with these 2 cassette decks, and then we graduated to the 4-track. So I bought a Tascam 234 four track it was like four tracks, but it was on a cassette rather than big reels, right? So it was affordable, and we were poor. And so we recorded these tapes that I still have to this day. They were stuffed away in a closet, and we got them out and said, do you think these things are even going to play? Or we're going to stick them in the machine and they're just going to be like a dust cloud of Memorex stuff. But so I bought an old 234 off of eBay, and we stuck one of the tapes in, and it was absolutely amazing. The fidelity, as much fidelity as those little machines ever had, was all there. All the high-end cymbals were all there, and everything was right there. So we got pretty excited, and I digitized it all into my Pro Tools and mixed a couple songs, and we got pretty excited about the whole thing. So it really was kind of what started the real serious talk about getting back together.
Sure, yeah.
Calling up everybody and saying, this might actually be kind of fun. And now we've kind of got a reason to do it. We're going to dig up these old tapes, and the people who remember us are going to say, you got to be kidding. And we're going to say, no, not kidding.
Wow.
So we're actually going to, the plan is to finish mixing those songs. It's, I don't know, there's probably, how many songs are on each tape?
Like 12, I think.
Yeah.
12.
Okay, so we got about, do the math. We have that many songs. What is that? 2 times 12? I can do that.
24.
Okay, thank you. And so maybe by the end of the year, we'll have those remastered, and we'll release them in their original album form. So that'll be pretty fun.
Great. Well, tell us where we can find you on social media, online, and everywhere else. It's your shameless plug time, so go.
Craig is our shameless plug man. Go.
All right. Well, obviously, we have our Facebook, the Gastem 1985. That's our handle there for Facebook, so you can find out all the updates there. There's also a website associated with, Avalon Street Records is putting out the Gastem 3 record, which is the new material, which is coming out this summer, and the stuff that you guys are hearing samples from right now. And that website is gastemband.univ.se. I don't know how that is, but you can also go to the Avalon Street Records site, avalonstreetrecords.com, and the Gastem link is there so that you can go directly to our site, see the bio, see the pictures, listen to the music samples. It's all there. And then, of course, our Instagram account at GastemBand1985. And hopefully there'll be some more avenues there, too. But right now, those are the 3 that, you can catch everything that we're doing.
Great. Wonderful. Well, folks, you heard it here. It was great to see you guys. I appreciate you coming on and sharing all this with us. It's a lot of great news, and we're definitely looking forward to hearing it. So thanks again. So, folks, we'll be back right after these words. You're listening to The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's Pure Rock Worldwide. Stick around. And thanks again for listening to 97 Underground, the Michael Spedden Interviews, and we hope you enjoyed today's show. Remember, download the free app from 97underground.com so you can listen to us wherever you go. The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, can be heard on 97underground.com every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Listen anytime, anywhere. Metal. Worldwide metal, 24/7. 97underground.com.